All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start on this project. I don't have all the parts yet, but I got enough to get started. Went ahead and configured this junction box for the 30 amp circuit. Put a Romex connector up there. It really didn't fit right, but I made it fit right. That's going to be mounted against the wall. Maybe an overkill, but I got some 10-3. Why 10-3? Well, I'm not going to use the exposed ground wire. I'm going to use a encased ground wire, so that gives me 3 leads to go ahead and run over to that. Man, I tell you, wire is expensive. That's only 25 foot, 10-3. I think it was $107. It's just ridiculous. And they got all that stuff locked up too, of course. You know why. And somebody will steal anything. I got my 1x here. That's what's going to go against the wall. And I'm going to take liquid nail, put a bead across there. And then I got some screws that are just barely long enough to go through to hold that up there until it sets. Then this board's going to be cut and rounded, and that's going to be the board that the inverter's mounted on. I should be able to put the inverter in there, run my 10-3 over to the outlet, and go ahead and wire that up to the inverter. And then when the rest of the wires come in for the 12 volt feed portion, then I can run that up there to the bus, the fuses. And then everything's hooked up properly. Go ahead and put the power to the inverter and everything should be good. Hopefully. We'll see. All right, one of the first things I'm going to have to do is get this inverter and see where it's going to go. That looks about right. You'll see why I'm marking 3 inches on these here in just a minute. Or maybe you already know. It's just an arbitrary number. All right, that'll work. Yep, that'll work. All right. Let's see, this needs to be 5.5. That's a tight working environment. definitely work though. Oh man, put this light on. Forgot to turn the battery on. Close enough. 5.5. I'm gonna pre-drill these holes because I don't want the thing splitting for any reason. Make it easy as possible. These screws are just going to go through a little bit to help hold that up there while that liquid nail sets. And of course the reason I'm using liquid nail is because this is pretty thin. I don't want a screw to go all the way out there and outside my camper. One must keep in mind that this is all theoretical. I'm assuming it'll work the way I planned, but you can never tell. I shouldn't need a whole lot of this liquid nail either. It is tight working in here. Whoops. That will work. Oh, come on. That's close enough. That'll work. Well, that's it for that part. Look at how flimsy those things are, man. Go figure out how long it takes to set. Probably be tomorrow before I screw that. Or actually, I'm going to build that thing and wire it before I put it up there. Because that AC hardwire will be over here. It'd be hard to get to after I put that panel up there. Yep. That will work. Beep, 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 beep. Anyways, I'll be able to wire that. Be able to wire that inverter down here. Get everything done on it that I need, and then slide it up there. Run my 10.2 or 10.3, whatever. Run that over to there, and that's going to be my block or my receptacle over there, and that's where I'm going to plug up my 30 amp wire shore connection, and then go out the door there and plug it in. All right, we'll see. To be continued. Okay. That paneling's a little bit too thin, so I'm going to end up mounting it into the base here. Of course, it'll be right up here in the corner. I'll mount this thing right in here. I got my line coming in here, so I'll I'll end up bringing this down, and then I'll have a little bit of wires in the corner, but that's okay. Yes, I haven't worked with electrical in years. Yep, that thing ain't going nowhere. Well, one thing about 10 gauge, you don't have to worry about the overloading the circuit. Because 10 gauge can take a lot. 50 amp, I believe. But it's hard to work with. And there we go. Of course, I'll put the tester on the other end of the wire to make sure nothing came off and shorted out or anything. They were all secured pretty good. Just barely gave myself enough slack though. Alright, let's see. Give myself about this much extra. Alright, let's see. that will work. All right, one more part of it done. I'd go ahead and spin that battery around, but I'm gonna leave, it's only supposed to get to like 51 tonight, so we'll see how that sets up come morning. But it says 40 degrees or 50 degrees to set up, so I can't imagine it's going to get too cool tonight, which is surprising. It's almost the end of December. But if it's wrong, I can open that little door right there and run the heat. So I'll leave that battery hooked up until then. All right, we're making progress. Well, the other wire and stuff is supposed to be in today, but the way Amazon and everything's been here lately, it wouldn't surprise me if it doesn't come in until tomorrow or Monday. Anyways, I think is what I'm going to do is go ahead and work on this today. This is the remote for the inverter. And I've decided I'm going to go ahead and place it right there. Now there's two panels right here. In other words, the paneling is over here, and then there's a space in between. So I should be able to make me a small box there, cut me out a small opening for that to mount flush, and drill me a small hole in the back, and that will allow me to go ahead and actually all the extra wire can just pile up and down in there. That'll work out good. And then I'll run this over to the inverter, and probably right there. Anyways, then I'll have my control right there for the inverter. So let me get started on that. Two by two. All right, let's see what we got. Well, it looks pretty straight. Probably not as straight as I liked it, but yeah, it is. It's actually pretty straight. There we go. And then this will come up here, come right across here, and then into the inverter. I think I can mount that about right there. That's going to have a 350 amp fuse. Actually, I think I'm going to mount them that way. I might be able to get that up there. Offset them just a little bit. That's what I'll do. Alright. I wonder if I'm going to have room. Oh yeah. That will work. I might as well go ahead and mount that. Come on, baby. Waiting on the parts, I figured I'd knock that out. The wire, though, it's supposed to be 105 degrees Celsius wire. Now this wire, not the stuff that came today, but the other stuff, they claim on there that for runs even up to 7 to 10 feet, it's good for 105 degrees. But I don't know if I trust it. It's listed on the thing as 80 degrees. So I don't know the discrepancy there. But even, I think the longest run I've got is about 4.5 feet. So I'm going to put that stuff on here. That's the stuff that's going to come from them batteries out there. And then from this battery up to the bus. See, all batteries are going to come up here to the bus. So I get an equal feed from every battery instead of just coming off of one battery in parallel to the rest of them. I'm going to come off of this. In other words, this is going to go up here to the fuse, and then it's going to go from here to here. And those are going to be double wires, apparently. And then I'm going to run a negative over here. All right, let's get at it. I might be able to use that. We'll see. $16 worked though. Don't look too bad. Okay. That's what we've ran so far. Got our 2 positive legs from the batteries up front, 2 negative legs from the batteries up front, up to the blocks. Now I got to run, I got 2 short ones out here I'm going to make to jump up here. Then I got to get that other wire and make some from here to here to here to here. And then from the negative over there to that block. Oh, and I got to put these, I got to put those fuses up here on top of the positive leads on all the batteries. This is what they look like. In other words, you put that on the battery, you put that fuse right there, 125 amp in between those posts down there, so that each one of the positive legs are fused. Good morning. I worked on that well into the night. It got dark on me. The parts came finally to finish it up. I didn't want to stop, so I kept working, and finally got everything done. I didn't test it out though. So I'm going to test it today. Well, I should say I have tested the remote and stuff like that, and the unit does come on. And I don't have any errors or anything like that. But today I'm going to run through and show you what I did. And I'm going to run the shore power from the receptacle I put in out to the shore power hookup. Turn off the converter and then put some AC to it. Run it through a small test, you know, maybe put the TV on and run the microwave. Let's see, the microwave would be, let's say the microwave's 1,000 watts. TV is probably only 50 or 60 watts. I may end up getting one of those portable grills, electric grill from inside, like a George Foreman. I think they run about 1,200 watts. So if I run the microwave, I run the portable grill and the TV, that ought to put it pretty close to 3,000 watts or thereabouts. Then I'll have to feel the wires and stuff. I did have a little bit of questions about the wires, about the temperature requirements on the wires. I want to point out though, and I'll go ahead and put this on the screen as I'm talking about it. I want to point out where I got my the majority of the information to guide me along in this process. And as you can see in the graphic and stuff, this guy, he does a wonderful job. I'm going to go ahead and put a link in the bottom also, down in the comment section or down in the information section description. I'm going to put a link to his channel. If you're getting into a project like this or something, I'd recommend watching a few of his videos. This guy's very good with electronics. I guess he's an electrical engineer. And some of the recommendations he makes may seem like overkill to some folks, but he does err on the side of caution, which is a very good thing, I guess. I mean, you're sleeping over top of all those wires and the inverter, and last thing you want is that catching fire. But anyways, all the recommendations as far as fuses on the individual battery positive terminals and the 350 amp fuse in line, I use those recommendations, as well as excuse me, get a drink of coffee here, as well as his recommendation for running 2 lines of, let's see, of number 2 to feed the inverter. So that gives you a total of 400 watts current carrying capacity without having to go to the bigger wire, which would be, well, quite a bit bigger, wouldn't it? It'd be harder to work with. Now, as far as the batteries go, I ran number 4, and that's rated for 150 amps. But like I said, his recommendation was to use a wire that's capable up to 108 degrees Celsius, which would be about 220 degrees. The stuff that I got was shown on the wire 80 degrees Celsius. I think it was 80 degrees Celsius, which I think equates to 175, 176 degrees Fahrenheit. But yet the ad for the actual, and I'll put that up there too, the ad for the actual wire that I ordered shows that it's good for up to 105 degrees, or 108, excuse me. They show lengths anywhere from 4 to 7 feet at 125 amps. You can run 4 gauge of this wire. So the longest length I got is about 4.5 feet. It falls within that 4 to 7, and the batteries are rated 100 amps. Max 125 is given that safety margin. So even at 85 to 105 amps, it shows it down in the second column. So they claim that it's good. So we'll see. Like I say, I'll take and hold on to that wire when I'm running all this stuff and putting a heavy load on it. If I feel excessive heat coming from that stuff, then I'll upgrade it to some better wire later. Okay. All right, here's the install. As you can see, we got our negative and positive buses up there at the top. We got all batteries going individually to that. That way, the inverter is actually drawing evenly from all the batteries, instead of just drawing for one, which will wear one out. Sooner than the other, so you have to rotate them. This way they're all drawing evenly. And then we have the remote for the remote start coming across there. Let's see. .5, 118 volts, 60 hertz. Those those house lines going to the coach were actually fine, because that's only a DC circuit and there's not much being drawn on that at all, so I left those alone. I ran the other wires though. Of course, each one's got a fuse on top, each battery. All right. Okay, that's plugged in. Bring this around. I'm gonna go ahead and shut that breaker off. This is that guy I was talking about.
In this video, I'm going to tell you how many batteries you need for a 3000 watt inverter. The answer might surprise you.
Okay, mute that. Let's go see what the draw is. 5 watts. Surely that TV takes more than 5 watts. Don't know though, but at least it's working. All right, 3 minutes. 1460 watts. Now it's showing the batteries at 2. I don't feel any warmth. Well, there you go. That's the install. Like I said, I'm gonna put a link down in the description to that fella, that electrical engineer that gives really great advice and guidance on installing solar systems, battery systems, inverters, converters, bunch of other stuff. He's really good, really solid. Let's see. Everything pretty much went as planned. That doesn't happen often. Thank God. As far as this channel goes, if you made it this far, appreciate you watching. What is this channel going to be? Well, it's going to document travels. Going to document certain upgrades and maintenance and all the trials and tribulations that I might experience out on the road. Because like I said, I guess this is going to be not necessarily my home, but I'm going to be on the road for quite a while, I'm sure. Eventually I may buy another house. Don't know. Don't know what God's going to send me, which direction, what all's going to happen. If you want to follow along, subscribe. Don't cost you anything. Hit the notification bell and it'll let you know when I post something. I won't be posting something very often or right off the bat. If I do something that I find you might find useful or somebody might find useful, I know I'm probably going to install a shunt, a smart shunt on that system, so that I can get a better readout of what's going on as far as the battery charging and stuff, and how many amps I'm drawing. The controller that comes with this, the solar controller, it leaves a lot to be desired. And I tell you, I've read the manual. It's a RLux RV or something like that. 5555 controller. So it's basic controller. It only had 100 watts of solar on it when I bought it. I had them install another 200 watts. That gives me 300 watts. And then the 200 portable solar panel I got, I had them put on an outlet so I can connect up. 500 watts of solar is not a lot, but I guess if you're in Arizona or something, it might be a lot or enough. But yeah, I'll document certain things. Not that there's no shortage out there of people that live in their RVs or document this stuff, but maybe you'll find it entertaining and useful. And who knows, I might get back into music. I tell you, I haven't really been playing the guitar a lot. Haven't been writing songs. Just hadn't been feeling it lately. Quite a while. So we'll see what happens there. Who knows? I know my acoustic will be on the road with me. I might find some inspiration for a song or two. Take care out there. God bless. And we'll catch you on another episode. I ought to come up with a better name than New Life RV. Well, I'm starting a new life, I guess. That's why I put it there. There may be another one. I don't know.